Howdy folks, and welcome back to War Thunder with the mighty Jingles. Got a bit of a treat for you today. That, in the D520, is Bismarck, the mighty Iron Chancellor himself. One of the more famous of the War Thunder players around. Has his own YouTube channel, but hasn't been doing much War Thunder lately because he just hasn't been playing much War Thunder. Prior to the introduction of patch 1.43, he'd really gotten bored with the game, and, well, probably fair to say frustrated with some elements of the game. Was waiting for patch 1.43 to come out before he gave it another go. What you're seeing him do here is, well, he's flying there with a buddy in the D521. Now his friend has just unlocked the D521 via a special event that was happening in War Thunder shortly before patch 1.43 came out. And so the two of them decided that they were going to get back into the swing of things, blow the dust off, because Bismarck hadn't been playing for a good long time, just to get ready for 1.43. And since his friend had unlocked the D521, Bismarck jumped into his D520, and they're going to go French for the day. So a German in a French fighter is flying against the Luftwaffe, who are attacking the British, and this must have been really confusing for him. Apparently there have been some issues with the D520's flight model. It used to break apart when it exceeded 600 kilometers per hour, but apparently that has been addressed. However, it's not so much the flight model, it's the weapon performance of the D520 that he was hearing bad things about. It has a bunch of 7.5mm machine guns. The British get 7.7, the Russians get 7.62. And one 20mm Hispano cannon. Now the Hispano cannon is good, but it only gets 60 rounds of ammunition. And the 7.5mm machine guns are not terrible. They have a very, very respectable ammunition load, but it's the ammunition choices for those machine guns that are a little lacking. The thing is, the problems associated with rifle caliber ammunition in War Thunder are pretty well known. They're just very, very difficult to score a knockout blow on an aircraft with rifle caliber machine gun ammunition. And this is historical. I think around about the time of the Battle of Britain, the Royal Air Force conducted extensive tests on the actual killing performance of their rifle caliber aircraft machine guns, and found that they were woefully inadequate. Even when scoring hits on the target, they generally just didn't deliver enough damage to do a consistent knockout blow against aircraft like the Bf-109. And this is why the Royal Air Force very, very quickly switched over to 20mm Hispano cannons, rather than constantly relying on aircraft like the Hawker Hurricane with lots and lots and lots of 7.7mm machine guns. The problem with the D520, it has a 20mm cannon, which is great, but it only has 60 rounds of ammunition for that cannon. And then it's down to 7.5mm machine guns. And the problem with the D520's 7.5mm machine guns, it isn't the guns themselves, it's the ammunition choices. They don't get an awful lot of armour-piercing incendiary ammunition. He's just engaged his first Bf-109, by the way. Just watching Bismarck fly is amazing. He is so much better than I am. Yeah, that's not really news. Most people are so much better than I am, but watching the way he controls the aircraft, oh, it's great to watch. Look at this. Obviously, this is a realistic battle. He's flying with joystick and throttle. He's not a mouse and keyboard noob like me. Look at this. It's a thing of beauty, watching the way he controls this thing. Jockeying for advantage against this Bf-109. And at the time the D520 saw combat during the Battle of France, it was actually it was a match for the Bf-109. The Bf-109 was slightly faster, the D520 was slightly more manoeuvrable, and they were both well armed. It really came down to the skill of the pilot. Where's that Bf-109 gone? Generally speaking, the Germans always start with a height advantage on this realistic battle event, the Battle of Britain. They start in the air, the British have to start off on the ground. So you have to count on the BF-109s always being higher than you. You know, if they have any sense, they're going to maintain that height advantage. They're not going to swoop down to low level and throw away the advantage that they get at the start of the game. And they didn't do that here. So, there he is. Come on, sucker. Bismarck opens up, doesn't score any hits. Now remember, Bismarck hasn't been playing War Thunder for a long time prior to this game. And he admits himself that he wasted the opportunity with his 20mm cannons at first. He didn't really score any hits with it. Checking is clear. He's down below the clouds. Constantly scanning around. Obviously this is a prior to patch 1.43 replay. We can't see the radar, we can't see the map. So we're relying on the pilot view here to get an idea of where the opponents are. Oh, look at that. Lovely. Unfortunately, a little too much speed, trying to bleed speed off there. BF-109 making a run for it. He's on his tail. Oh, that was just a lovely piece of flying. And then he opens up. And he's scoring multiple hits. He still has 20mm ammunition at this point, and he scored hits with it. You saw it doing critical damage with the few shots that actually struck the target. But you only get 60 rounds of ammunition for the Hispano in the D520, and he's run out now. So now he's firing the 7.5mm machine guns, and you get a lot of ammunition for those. But the problem with the French 7.5mm machine gun ammo belts is that there is not enough armor-piercing incendiary ammunition. You look at aircraft like the Hawker Hurricane with its 12 rifle caliber machine guns. It works because it's got 12 of them, and because of all the armor-piercing incendiary ammunition in the ammunition belt. The Hawker Hurricane works by just delivering so much machine gun fire with so much incendiary ammunition in the ammo belts that it either shreds you or it sets you on fire. You can't do that with the D520 because there isn't enough incendiary ammunition in the ammunition belt, and it doesn't have enough of those machine guns. The BF-109 is now well outside of optimal firing range. He's never going to be able to put him down from 500 metres if he couldn't do it from 180 and 300 metres. He's expended 600 rounds of ammunition into this guy. His teammate in the D521 then takes over the chase. That guy empties his machine guns into this Messerschmitt to, well, I'm not going to say to no effect, because both of these guys have damaged that BF-109. They've severed his fuel lines, he's leaking coolant, his engine's overheating, his engine's taken damage, it's not pushing out as much power as it should, his flight controls are getting sluggish because they've been shot up. But what this kind of rifle caliber ammunition tends to do is, while it doesn't deliver a knockout blow, I mean it can, anybody can get a pilot kill, but it gradually reduces the performance of the aircraft so that you eventually crash. And this is historically consistent. A lot of Luftwaffe pilots were lost during the Battle of Britain, not shot down over England, although a lot were shot down over England, but a lot of them were forced to ditch and lost their aircraft and lost their lives, returning to base while flying over the English Channel, as a result of their aircraft becoming unflyable due to the damage that they'd sustained while dogfighting over England. Which was great because, it's great for the Royal Air Force. That's one less German pilot and one less BF-109 to worry about. But it's not much consolation to the guys that the BF-109 shot down while he was sustaining all of that damage. And, you can, just watching this replay, but Bismarck is an exceptionally good pilot. And he's hitting these guys over and over and over. He's coming back for another go. The BF-109's turned in again. He's got the speed advantage to catch up with him from a dive. BF-109's seen him coming. Don't think he hit him there. But keeps going. Turns all that speed back into altitude. Loads of energy in the bank. His wingman's still down there as well. His wingman eventually runs dry on ammunition, trying and hitting this BF-109, but just not putting him down. BF-109 circling. Now you can't see it here, but there is another one of them coming in. So the two of them need to kill this guy to maintain the numbers advantage. Look at this flying. There you go. That's more like it. Unfortunately, it's about to turn into a fair fight. And fair fights are for suckers. He misjudged that one. Well, he didn't misjudge it. The German pilot is doing his level best to throw his aim off and not give him an optimum firing solution. But Bismarck is good. And he's on him. But unfortunately, second BF-109 turned up. And Bismarck is almost out of ammunition. He leaves the original guy to his wingman, and he breaks off to go after the new arrival. And he's damaged. He's been hit multiple times by rifle caliber ammunition, and he's leaking coolant. So this guy's engine is overheating. And he's hitting him over and over and over. And now he's leaking oil as well as coolant. Bismarck is critically low on ammo at this point, and there, he's just run out. He's got to break off. He's no good to his wingman with no ammunition for his weapons. Hell, you could argue that he was no good to his wingman with ammunition for his weapons. That's kind of the point. And now it's 2-on-1 over there, and his wingman's perilously low on ammo as well, but Bismarck's got to get out of here. And that's all kinds of bad news for his buddy in the D521, who is now being engaged by 2 BF-109s. But Bismarck can't help him. There's not a lot you can do with no ammunition. Hell, there wasn't a lot he could do with a full ammunition load. The 7.5mm machine guns on these French aircraft, with the ammunition load that they get, is just not good enough. And it must be so frustrating. I mean, I'm feeling frustrated just watching this. I can't imagine what it was like actually being behind the controls for Bismarck here, because I don't think anybody could convincingly argue the case that he was not the superior pilot in that engagement. Not that the BF-109 pilot wasn't good either. He did exactly what he needed to do to stay alive. He didn't try to dogfight at low altitude. He outran Bismarck and his friend in the D521. He used the speed advantage of the BF-109 E3 to its utmost. But the really frustrating thing here is that while Bismarck is flying back to base to rearm and repair, those 2 BF-109s do eventually go down, and they go down as a result of the damage inflicted on them by the D520 and the D521. The damaged airframe, the ruptured fuel lines, the severed coolant pipes, the engines overheating, the engines eventually dying and forcing them to crash. Or the airframe suffering so much machine gun fire damage that the next time they try to pull a high G turn, their wing rips off. But that's a crash, it's not a kill. But, crappy performance of these French 7.5mm machine gun ammunition loads aside, that was some spectacularly impressive flying. And it's good to see Bismarck back in War Thunder. He's uploading videos again, link in the video description for his channel, and thank you very much for giving me the privilege of showcasing one of your replays. It's just a shame it couldn't have ended with a slightly better result. So, War Thunder, French 7.5mm machine guns tested by real live Germans. The verdict, off to the Eastern Front with you. Take care, folks. Catch you next time.